I'd like to introduce her. So, Dr. Galvan is an associate professor of maritime business at the College of Marine Sciences and Maritime Studies at Texas A&M University in Galveston, where she has been a full-time faculty since 2017. So academia is her second career, and she has over 15 years of experience working for the private sector and international maritime shipping and logistics in the area of marketing and sales, including business development and marketing intelligence. Dr. Galvan has over 20 academic articles published in peer-reviewed, top-notch maritime and logistics journals. So her current research stream is focused on various aspects of blue economy, such as port-city relationship, green and sustainable ship, corporate social responsibility, and ESG applied to maritime business. Port stakeholder management, including maritime education and workforce development in the realm of ports and shipping automation and digitalization. Her current teaching efforts are geared towards the application of AI in maritime business and innovations in teaching the next generation of merchant mariners officers, as she has developed new courses taught on board the training ship in collaboration with Texas A&M Maritime Academy. Dr. Galvão holds a PhD in social sciences and a Master's of Sciences in Political Economy, both from the Catholic University of São Paulo, Brazil. So, Dr. Galvão, you have the
Thank you.
floor.
Thank you very much, Sueli. We just found out that we share a common past at the Catholic University. This is always nice. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my slides. Let me see if you guys see them in presentation mode. Let me give one more click. Can you see my screen? Presentation mode? Okay, great. So today's topic or today's title is about demystifying AI for business students and instructors. So this is, I would say, probably my future paper title that I'm working as one of the goals with the incorporation of AI in my teaching and students learning. But what I'm really going to present to you today is some of the initial findings and still ongoing applications that I'm doing as a result of my excuse me, participation with the inaugural cohort of Gen AI learning community at the Center of Teaching Excellence. So this is, Sueli already did the introduction. I'll present my motivation, some of the goals, the plans, initial plans, first rounds of deliverable, and some initial take on lessons learned. Everything is kind of like on this planning and ongoing mode, because this is in fact something that is an ongoing project, is not finished yet. So I believe this was already covered. This was the introduction. I just want to highlight two other things here, that I did receive a grant from the Center of Teaching Excellence before as a Montag Award in 2020. That also has helped me in taking my, let's say, teaching skills to the level that they are here today. So the Center of Teaching Excellence at Texas A&M has helped me throughout the way. And this is with Gen I is another interesting round that I am being offered to work. So I'm sure we're going to share this slides with you later. You can take a, let's say, more detailed reading of what I'm doing. I am defining myself as a maritime nerd, because I actually, students ask me, and you change career from business to education. Of course, there is an intellectual stimulation, there is a creativity potential that I was not able to advance as much in business as I wanted. So education and higher education become that area. So I see myself as some kind of maritime nerd and someone helping students in transition from their academic, or let's say school life, to their professional careers in maritime business, in maritime logistics, and sometimes correlated areas. So when I started looking at AI, and I think we all look at this as generally speaking, as teachers, right? Um, March 2023 was the critical point, right? Is when ChatGPT became this launched and opened up its resources to everybody. And we start seeing students actually using this in a bit of a chaotic way. In some ways, very creative, and we're still learning. Everybody was still learning what happened. But it was not like until the first year, let's say March last year, right? When we were like, yeah, I felt the need, we need to do something about it. Number one, to educate myself what AI is actually doing for higher education and for our students, and how we could actually leverage this. So I am one of those teachers. If you want to put me in a box, I am a believer, right? That AI is actually going to transform education and higher education in particular in everything that we're doing. But because it's such a fresh phenomenon, we kind of like have to break it in parts and see, okay, what can we actually incorporate, knowing what we know, and knowing that this is going to be a constant change, right? Just the number of versions that ChatGPT has launched in the last 12 or 18 months, it's an indicator of that. And how you actually make this AI as a tool to be engages students and make they're more interested in courses. Like in my particular case, I teach a core class, a required class, and I believe some of you share the experience of teaching a required class with the students' engagement. It's kind of like they're here because they have to punch a card, right? But at the same time, in addition to that challenge, I also teach a marketing class for non-marketing students, which means that they are in a business degree. They obviously need marketing and they see the point of it, but some of the challenges associated with the course and with the graded activities take the students sometimes to a level where they go like, do I really need this for my maritime career, or this is just a nice to have, right? And this is when I see a student engagement dropping significantly. So I thought, well, maybe AI can help me with that. And then, of course, what are other things that AI is doing for their future? Is we're preparing them to join the workforce in the maritime sector. How is going to be AI in that sector? So this is where I started basically educating myself and learning from uh, people that are practicing AI in the maritime business through webinars, through going to conferences, going to presentations. And sometimes you see things that are very advanced, in terms of business applications, and there's a lot of technology, IT involved. And you go like, okay, how do you actually prepare people to work on these systems or to continue developing this? So this is, as I said, it's still an ongoing question. I don't have all the answers, but I have had I focus my, let's say, education time, my my learning time in those two questions. And I found obviously support from the literature, such as the Harvard Education, Harvard Business Press. They have this wonderful collection of articles that I do recommend all of you to take a look. And I believe Texas A&M has a subscription with them. So you can download it, and it has a lot of insights about Gen AI, because that's another thing that we have learned over the courses and this, let's say, learning curve with AI. There's various types of AI, right? And the AI that we really is being disruptive is the Gen AI, the one that can actually generate content. So my initial plan was to take this class, Marketing 321, which is a class that is originally from Mays Business School, and that we are allowed to teach as well here in Galveston, our maritime business program, and use a AI in basically two activities. First was on the discussion boards, right? And second in the actual project management, the project assignment, sorry. The project assignment, as it is on the syllabus, it's very detailed. I can share my syllabus with you. And it was even before the incorporation of AI, because as a student, I've noticed that sometimes when professors give a project, a report, a major assignment that has like a written part, a oral presentation, slides, etc., the grading sometimes gets a little dicey. So I give my students as objective as possible, as detailed as possible. How do they earn every point on their project? that is to enhance their or increase their chances of making an A, but also telling them to, this is also about following instructions, which is an ability that we have also to further develop when interacting with large language models. You have to give better instructions so that the model responds you with what you want. So in the project, I translated this to the syllabus. I have adapted one of the many statements, right, about the use of artificial intelligence, basically to tell students, yes, we have an opportunity here to practice. You are allowed to use, but there are certain guardrails, right? So this is the verbiage. I put it there. I'm not going to read this for you, but just to give you a sense that I have made this a very significant chunk of my syllabus. And then specifically about the projects, right? I divided in three parts. One part that they are required to use artificial intelligence, one that they are not required, but it's optional, which means if they do, they have to disclose it, right? They have to present additional information, how AI helped them. And oopsie, let me go back here. Too fast. Third part where they're actually writing their marketing plan, when I said Gen AI is not allowed, right? And if you do here, you may incur into academic integrity problems, and I do not recommend. So what happened is, this was a development during summer, right? And I'm employed in my fall semester. And these are some of the main results, right? Our class sizes here in Galveston are significantly smaller than College Station. So 31 students for us is considered a good size class, right? Right now I'm teaching the same class, just to give you an example. I have 14 students, right? Last spring, I taught the same class, the Marketing 321, I had 12 students. So 31 is a good size, right? I divided them in groups of 2 or 3 students, so they have 11 groups in the end. And then about 9 of them have demonstrated understanding the use of AI. I have only 2 groups that have not done anything, and another group that have had actually some academic integrity problems. So, and most of the groups have employed AI for the logo creation, and they have, explained that, what was the actual AI system that they have used it, what was the prompt, and what they actually presented. And some of them just basically describe it in one sentence. This is what we did, and this is what we consider from the AI output. And some of them for writing the actual report. 5 groups out of the 11 have provided more than one AI employed, which means that they have used it more than just ChatGPT or Copilot, right? Copilot, I forgot to say this, Copilot was the AI that I have recommended students to primarily work with for the very reason that Texas A&M supports it, right? And they don't have to pay extra. But then, of course, there were some areas that need improvement, right? So I've noticed that the use on the projects was, I would say, achieving some of the initial goals. But the students, because they were on AI and they were doing this probably for other classes unofficially, is that they start using AI to actually respond to their quizzes and to their discussion boards, because they are an assignment that they complete online on Canvas. And the reason why of course, you can read an answer, right, and say, a junior student, I even have some sophomores in this class, they don't write like this, right? We have been doing this now for 8 years at Texas A&M and for other 7 years in other schools. So we know how students write, right? So you could totally tell that they were just using AI to answer some of those questions. And then what I did is I repeated some of those questions, the open-end questions, on the test, even the multiple choice ones. I have repeated them on their exam, the exam that they actually take on in a paper format in the classroom, and they have failed to give the similar answer, which shows that they were still doing what I am calling here a premature use of AI versus a more critical thinking a strategic use of AI. I don't have a solution for that right now. I'm just presenting to you that this is what happened. Maybe I'll have other comments from you and other experiences shared that we can figure this out. But this is what I did just to be more emphatic to the current students that I'm teaching right now. I have kept the same syllabus structure, but I gave them actually extra credit for them to attend some of those videos about Gen AI in higher education, so that they can actually see what large language models are and what the capabilities, to basically give them some incentive. You need incentives to educate themselves what AI does and how they can actually enhance it. Unfortunately, I don't have time. I wish I have time in my own class to teach them a whole module, right? Like 3 or 4 weeks of just AI, but we do the best that we can with the time that we have. And then I just created this, let's say, more structure disclosure part of their project, so that they have to actually tell me which AI, what did they ask, what was the purpose, what exactly they got as feedback, and what did they change and what they did not change, right? So I don't know the results yet, because they are going to turn in their projects in 2 weeks from now. So a few final comments, because I know we're reaching here the top of the time. For those attending here, if you have not taken this course, I urge you to take it, and it's free, and you can do it in various formats. You can do it in person, you can do it online during summer, during the long semesters offered by the Center of Teaching Excellence, because it does help you. It helped me, and I think it helps everybody understanding and developing your AI literacy, especially because it is designed by Texas A&M professors, and is considering also everything that we learn, right, from their experience. I do recommend you looking at what the Texas Higher Education Coordination Board has on their initiative for adapting to innovation AI facilitated learning at work program. And it's usually during the summer, and it's like a much bigger group. Okay, the cohort where I was, there were 700 people participating. It was fascinating, and at the same time very enriching, because then you hear different experiences and different issues, and they bring a wealth of speakers with a lot more resources in terms of like how you can use AI to prepare your classes, to prepare your assignments, to import questions from test banks, and all these things that we did not see necessarily with the initial course here. It's a journey, my fellows, my friends and colleagues, right? And it's a very dynamic journey. You will change. It will change. It's constantly changing. So if you are someone that likes to be more stable in terms of like when you're doing your syllabus and testing, different versions of that, I recommend you taking this AI challenges bite size. Take one assignment, take one part of your syllabus to adapt it, and don't change everything at once, because we know usually this is also going to generate extra work for us. And of course, the students eventually will know more than us. And I am totally fine with that, because I have learned it through the process from being a student, from being higher education as a student for 12 years of my life. I lived that, so I have no issues with that, but some of us may have some issues with that. The idea that the student actually knows more than the professor, but this is actually going to happen with AI. And I'm going to wrap it up by offering you, actually, I have those books here with me, both of them, and they're on the screen. These are my reading recommendation. One, of course, is business specific, and the other one is more general and learning, but they're both, I would say, very good for your own, let's say, AI experience as a learner, not so much as a teacher. That's my contact. Please feel free to connect via LinkedIn. And thank you, Sueli, again for your moderation.
Oh, thank you very much. I am going to stop recording the presentation now, so we can now